Hey, welcome to the Ankeny podcast. I'm here with Sara Volkmann, who is one of the owners of Cafe Diem, and they also have Cafe X, which is right across from Trail Point Aquatics and Fitness Center here at the DMACC Ankeny campus. Sara, welcome to the Ankeny podcast.
Thanks for having me, Tony.
Well, everyone's leadership road is a little bit different, or entrepreneurial road is a little bit different. Tell us a little bit about where you started and how you got to where you are today.
Yep, so I am actually a DMACC alum, and when I was a student here, I worked part-time with Cafe Diem across the street, and I transferred to Iowa State to pursue an engineering degree as an electrical engineer. Got into my internship and hated it. And I worked for a company called EMI, Electrical Manufacturing Inc., for about a year and a half as a mechanical technician, all while working for Cafe Diem continuously. I got to the point where I was ready for my next adventure, gave them a heads up that I was getting ready to leave their Ames store at that time, and they offered a spot for me to buy into the company. And that's been about 3.5 years ago, and we've opened up 2 new stores since I've bought in.
Okay, well, there's so many people that have this dream of opening a restaurant or opening the coffee shop. It's so difficult to do. How is it that you guys are so successful in what is really a competitive market?
Lots of hard work, lots of hours. We really strive to be a part of the community and to make everything community-centered with everything that we do. And I think you can really tell that with each of our individual stores that we want the community support and we support the community, and that has really helped us in the long run.
So tell us a little bit about what's different. Let's start with, let's actually take a tour of each of the places. I've been to Cafe Diem, I've been to Cafe X, and I've also been on campus to campus grounds. So I've been to those 3, but let's start with Cafe Diem. Tell us a little bit about it, where it is, and then I think there are extra rooms there because we actually had a writers group there one summer and spent a lot of time over there. So tell me a little bit about Cafe Diem first.
So Cafe Diem in our Ankeny store, there's also a Cafe Diem in Ames, which is our flagship store. That one has been going on for 18.5 years.
Whoa.
And then our Ankeny store here we just hit the 12-year mark a little bit ago as well. And like you said, we have a free conference room that you can reserve with a TV, marker board, and it seats up about 20 adults. And in addition to that, we do have little nooks with individual plugins for students that are coming over to study. We have a big farmer's table up kind of on our smaller stage area. And just about 6-7 months ago, we have also started roasting all of our own beans in-house at the Cafe Diem Ankeny, which is on Ankeny Boulevard and Lorenz, the corner there, kind of where the Wigan Pen is and the CarX, as far as that goes. But when you order, you are ordering right next to our big roaster, and we have a brand new gal that's roasting for us every Wednesday. So if you ever want to stop in and see the roasting process, her name's Rose, and she's doing it every single Wednesday, if not more frequent, because of the amount of coffee we go through.
Well, tell me a little bit about the hours that you're open, and then kind of the crowd that comes in early, maybe the middle of the day, and then late in the day.
Yep. So Monday through Friday, we are open 6:30 a.m. through 9 p.m. And then Saturdays, we are open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. And Sundays, we are open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. It really varies from day to day who we get in there. We have a great diverse group, a lot of business owners, business leaders meeting there for a quick meeting in the morning or lunch. We do have a lot of groups that meet there and utilize our room, either book clubs, Bible studies, classes have been taught there since we are free to use. We do get a lot of high school students. With us being on campus, we don't get a ton of college students. We do get a lot of Faith Baptist students versus the DMACC students. It just really is variable on the time of day and the hour and the day of the week.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about your expansion. If I remember right, Campus Grounds came first, and then came Cafe X. So tell me a little bit about how you decided and how you partnered with DMACC with Campus Grounds.
Yep. So Campus Grounds first started actually in a hallway in building 3E while everything was under construction in Building 5. And so the construction got delayed, I think by almost 2 years, if I remember correctly, or a year and a half. And so there was no food options on campus whatsoever. And so DMACC had approached us originally for the Cafe X location only, but had came at us and said, hey, is there any way that you guys can do something? And so for the first 6 months, I was hauling coffee and food over on a daily basis, and setting up in a hallway with no running water just to have something on campus. And then at that point, we had started talking about the Building 6. And where we are at actually used to be an old storage garage. And so we built out and just added some windows on, as far as that goes, just again to have more options on campus with running water, so I could actually do a few more few more options while they were still in that building process. And it has been such a great success because it's in the middle of campus. The faculty in Building 1 and the further people away from Building 5 just absolutely love it. So we've been able to keep it there since Cafe X has opened up as well.
Okay, yeah, and for those of you on campus, it's just down the hall from the library, or if you're coming from the testing center, or you're getting ready to go in the testing center, it's a great place to stop by. So then you started this partnership there, and then it took a couple years, but we have, this Trail Point Fitness and Aquatic Center, and then Building 5 is it's just as big as anything on a large campus. Tell us a little bit about how Cafe X came to be, but it also sounds like it's got a mission with its name, and then kind of what you were trying to do with it as a brand.
Yes, it's definitely what the reason it's called Cafe X is. The full name is Cafe X Drink Lab, or Experimental Drink Lab, cool. to really get those college students interested in us. We really focus on being right next to the gym, the healthy aspects of it. We can make any smoothie, any drink really, really healthy, but also taste really good. But in addition to that, with the experimental side of it, I'm always bringing a new product. We're always changing something up. So we're not in that same square box that we have to have certain things at all times, where our customers now expect us to run out of certain things and have seasonal items. And they look forward to it because we really have fun with it, and my staff really has a lot of fun with it as well.
So, take us up to Ames, and then we'll talk a little bit about going to San Francisco this year.
Yep. So Ames, I'm not involved in as much anymore, but I did manage that one for about 2 years.
Where is it?
It's on Main Street. So it's on Main Street and Kellogg on the corner of it there. It's on the same side as Great Plains. So if you know where that is. But like I said, it's been there 18 and a half years. Right now, they are kind of more of like the testers for big things. So they just brought in cold brew on tap. Ooh. And iced tea on tap, and it's different than nitrous brew. Nitrous brew, you get that really thick head, where this just has a hint of carbonation to it, so you're still getting the really great quality of our cold brew, but they do so much more lunch than any of our other stores do.
So you're an electrical engineer. How did you become a coffee expert? Because you sound more like a chemical engineer than electrical.
So I had originally only gotten a part-time job at Cafe Diem to help pay for a trip to Italy. And I had every intention of quitting after I got back, but I just fell in love with the customer aspect of it. I actually wasn't a coffee drinker before I started, but my personality is if I'm going to do something, I'm going to learn everything about what I do, and it's just kind of grown into a passion for me. In addition to loving coffee now, I'm a pure espresso drinker if that's my drink of choice. But I just really love people, and just getting that interaction with people and getting interaction with my employees really gets me up in the morning, and loving doing what I'm doing.
So tell me a little bit about this recent trip you took to San Francisco, but also what it is to work for Cafe Diem, and in that it's not just you go make coffee every day. There's a real, I want to say, artisan aspect to it. And if you could talk a little bit about San Fran.
Yes, so this was one of our biggest trips that we've done with our employees. We typically do 2 to 3 big trips every year for all of our employees, just to kind of help keep them engaged, building that community amongst our staff, which a lot of places don't do. And so this time we took 9 of our employees, including myself, and we went out to our importer, which is based in Oakland, California. So we ended up staying in San Francisco, and they got to go to the warehouse, meet all the owners of our importers, and then we also got to do a cupping, which in coffee world, that's how you taste the coffee that you select. And it's a big process. It's very loud and noisy. And we tried, I want to say, 12 different coffees. They were all single origin, all had different backstories on it as far as that goes. And then the group that was with me from all of our locations, Ames included, got to select what we're hand roasting now for the next 3 months. So it was really cool. One of the big reasons we did this trip, that was obviously only a half day, but we were there for 4 days total, was to really build that community amongst our staffs. And so we paid for half of the trip for all of our employees. They just had to come up with the other half, and it was a very small amount since we were a big group traveling. And then all that we required of them is to stay with us for another 6 months, and they know that we're going to do another really big trip next year as well.
Cool. Well, can you tell me a little bit about that story? I think I have 3 daughters, so tell me a little bit about that story, about that one group that I feel was an all-women co-op. I think it was Columbia or something like that. I don't remember the exact story, but if you could tell me the backstory on one of those coffee roasters.
Yeah, so one of our coffees that we did sample was from an all-women's co-op. I'm forgetting the name of the country right now. I'll let you know. Columbia? So it was either Columbia. It was a third world country, and so it was 100% all-women co-op, which in farming in general, let alone a third world country, is just unheard of. And so we are bringing it in, and we will be doing a special on it. And my head roaster will know a lot more information on it than I do right now. But it's something that we are really trying to partner with. And when we bring in coffee, because we have some buying power, we really want to make sure that money is going to support local farmers that actually need the money versus those big operations.
Okay. Well, I've asked you a ton of questions. Is there anything you want to say before we say goodbye?
I love coffee. Come see me. We have more options than coffee. We really enjoy doing what we're doing, and I think that shows through all of our staff that we have. We just love to come talking about it. If you want to know more about the San Francisco trip or hear about any more trips that we will be going on, we are thinking about doing some sourcing trips and opening it up to the public. That will be announced in the next couple of years. I think Costa Rica has been said, maybe Honduras, different trips as far as those go that will be open to the public. But we're just kind of here to support local and support community.
Well, thanks so much for being on the Ankeny podcast.
Awesome. Thank you, Tony.